Okay, this is the third part of the vlog, and I'm going to answer the questions that I put to you at the end of the last vlog, which were how many hospitals did I need to go to while I was getting diagnosed, and how many times was I asked to visit my own hospital? And the answer is 6 hospitals, some of which I had to go to 3 times by bus because there's no parking there, and had to take 2 buses to get there when I could have walked to my local hospital. And I didn't go to my own hospital once. And one of those hospitals, yeah, the 2 bus journey one of the 2 bus journey ones, um, I asked someone about one of my scans, an X-ray technician, and he said, oh yes, we might have had the results from that yet, so I'll let you know. So I thought, great, okay, that's fantastic. But when I came out of the next scan, he wasn't there, so I asked a female technician instead, and she said, "This is the NHS trying to be kind. We wouldn't want to give you any false hope. Thanks a lot." That made me feel so great as I left the hospital. Anyway, I haven't got a title for the blog yet. So I'm thinking of calling it the Magical Mystery Tour, but obviously without the magical bit, just a mystery tour. But now I'm wondering about down the rabbit hole, and you might see why later when I show you some images. I hope I'm able to show you them anyway. So anyway, I'd ask you to vote on a title, um, but as only one person saw the last video, it's probably not worth it. And you might come up with something like McVlog McCancer or something like they did for the Queen's boat. Anyway, I'm going to wear a different hat each time, or scarf, so that you realise which one you're on. If you've seen it before, then you don't have to try and watch it, or one of you anyway. And so, and also, if I've got a bad hair day, don't have to worry. Um, and what I was going to talk about now was hair loss, because we call it hair loss. That's kind of kind way of saying it, but really it's you're going bald, okay? And I went bald um, in the manner of Mick Fleetwood. I look really odd. I looked like that until my sister told me one day I looked like Dennis Waterman. Thank you. My hair was growing back then. Anyway, that's one of the questions everyone asks as soon as they're told they're going to have chemo. Oh, am I going to lose my hair? And so my oncologist very kindly just said, as she tossed her magnificent mane, yes, you'll definitely lose all your hair. Thank you. So I knew that was going to happen. But then I spoke to a friend about it, and as friends do, let's just um, talk about that for a minute. She said, "Do you want me to cut your hair now so it doesn't come out in clumps?" And it doesn't matter how many times they assure you that you are going to lose your hair. There is just this tiny little hope that you won't. She just sort of took that away from me, and I said, "No, no, no. I don't need that." And then 2 weeks later, I said to her, "Can you cut it, please?" So she did. But yes, friends are sometimes they mean to be kind and they're cruel. Like one of our friends said, "Oh, don't worry. If it's any kind of serious cancer, they will send you to such and such hospital." A day before, they say to me, "We're going to send you to such and such hospital." Okay, so that was another thing. And another friend said, meaning to be kind, "It's good that they caught it early." Well, one thing you should maybe say is ascertain whether it has been caught early before you say it's good that they caught it early. Um, as it was with my kind of cancer, it was relatively early, even though it did take them 3 years, because a lot of people are diagnosed at a stage like at stage 4, which is no fun, and then they have to go through much more treatment than I did. So anyway, the hair loss, what was I going to say about it? Oh, the other thing they suggested I could do is wear a cold cap. And that is when you essentially put your head in a freezer all the time you're having chemo. Um, I went through this during COVID. I mean, hence my delight at having to take 2 bus journeys and several train journeys to 6 different hospitals. Um, so I didn't. It meant I didn't have anyone with me. But I look on the bright side. That the other thing is I wasn't missing out on anything because no one did anything or went anywhere. They weren't allowed to, and there were no gigs, no cinema, nothing. So I mean, but the downside was I had to go to all my appointments alone, um, and all my chemotherapy alone. And mostly people have someone with them for that. Um, still, where am I going with this now? Hmm, I was gonna, yes. So anyway, I will just stop for the minute because I can't remember what else I was going to say. Okay, um, I'll pause it. Okay, back again. Oh yes, another thing. As I was losing my hair, one day my sister said to me, "Are you going to wash your hair tonight?" And I said, "Which one?" Anyway, about the tour. To get onto the tour, you have to have some special skills, and not the ones that you might put on a CV. These include being able to predict the future, to time travel, and to visit the transporter room in Star Trek in order to dematerialize in one place and rematerialize in another. So I will tell you more about that later. Um, yes, going bald. What can I say about that? Well, first of all, may she rest in peace, but Sinead O'Connor is the only woman who looks good bald. Um, if you think about it, I mean, it's different if you're a man, because if you're a man, there are sex symbols that are bald. Um, I'm talking about Shamar Moore. You might have seen him in Criminal Minds, gorgeous. Yul Brynner, even Telly Savalas, and nobody really. And my mum's favourite newscaster, who is Gordon Honeycomb, but I'm showing my age there. Um, and even Sinead, bless her, she did that when she was about 19. It's a bit different if you're in your 50s because none of I don't think anybody could get away with it as a fashion statement. And I'm not going to knock the wigs because I ended up with a really great wig. Um, as soon as the fitter put it on me, I started to smile for the first time in ages. However, I did have to wear it when I had tickets to Wimbledon, and it was 90-degree heat, so that was not much fun. Um, I mean, you think about bald women apart from that. There's only Gail Porter who got alopecia when she had her first child. She was originally considered incredibly desirable when she had long blonde hair. And once she got alopecia, you rarely saw her on TV, only if she went on to talk about having alopecia and not being able to do her, not being given the opportunities she was before. So anyway, that's my position on it. I've got to say that with my hospital, if you look at it as a restaurant, the the side dishes were all excellent. The wig shop, the Dimbleby Care Centre. It was just the main course that wasn't up to scratch. And more about that later. I mean, it's just we'll talk to you. But now let's do one of the things that I talked about. In fact, no, maybe what I'll do is I'll leave this now and set you another poser question for next time. And the question is, um, how many hours and how many phone calls do you think it took me to arrange for a district nurse to visit me after I'd had my operation and was on the chemotherapy? And I was supposed to get injections every day. Um, I nearly told you what it was. I nearly gave away the answer. So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave you with that. Another great cliffhanger from Shan. And the only other thing I want to say is I've recently discovered some strange statistics that from the target ovarian cancer site that only 33% of women are diagnosed early with ovarian cancer in England. That's kind of put as the top thing. And then it not says only, it says only 33%. 33% are diagnosed early. In Scotland, it's 46%, but they put in front of it only 46%, as if that was bad, worse than 33. In Northern Ireland, 46%. In Wales, 43%. So that means that if you're living in England, you're less likely to be diagnosed early if you hadn't figured that out from my percentages. So anyway, I'll leave you with that. And next time we're going to do some time travel. So it's going to be really exciting. Better than this, I hope. Okay, I'm going to try and stop it now.